Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to 2 Minute Warning. This is the high-paced American football podcast in which the time is in short supply, but the opinions are not. My name is Jez, also known as The Jez Show. I'm joined by, not my regular co-host, but by a special guest, Duff Valley, who may need to carry this show as I'm a little under the weather and my voice could give out at any point. So I hope you have got many opinions to be shared in a high-paced manner, Mr. Duff Valley.
Oh, always.
Yeah,
hyped after what we've just come from.
I'm pretty sure you could talk about the Giants' woes for several periods of 2 minutes, right?
Well,
if you have
about as much as you could the Bears.
Yeah, we're in much the same kind of dismay. Is that the best word for
definitely.
How things are going for us at the moment? But
Definitely.
We will get to that. For those that have not joined this show before, or even if you have, actually, the format has changed slightly. We're getting you ready for Week 1 in the NFL. We're going to spend 2 minutes on each of the games that take place today and tomorrow. Give you all of our news, analysis, updates. Get you hyped, hopefully, for what has been a long time coming in Week 1 of the NFL. But before we can get to what happens later, we need to discuss what happened on Thursday night as the season kicked off. So, Duff, would you like to take our first topic away?
The 2021 season kicked off Thursday night at Raymond James Stadium as the reigning champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, took on the Dallas Cowboys. And what can I say?
Well, you'll have 2 minutes to say some things. Here we go.
What a game. What a game. Who thought that game was going to be like that? I mean, Tampa Bay came out strong, as you expected, being the champions. I mean, it was 22 starters, the same as what they left the end of the season last year.
They brought everybody back,
Yeah. And I was shocked, especially being a Giants fan, how good the Cowboys looked. I mean, we've chatted about this pre-stream about how obviously Ezekiel Elliott didn't do much, but that was kind of the plan, and you know how they kind of worked it into the game.
Yeah, because you were hoping really as a Giants fan that Ezekiel Elliott was looking not quite as good as he should, but no, I think it was all part of the plan. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't think they were going to run particularly well on that Tampa Bay defense. This was always going to be a game put on the arms of the quarterbacks. And yeah, when you asked who could predict it would be a game like that, I mean, this guy did. I even went so far to say that the Cowboys were gonna win it. I think with Dak,
it was
back end
down
center,
to the wire.
It was down to the wire. Yeah, I mean, I almost got my prediction in. Unfortunately for my predictions, at least, they gave Tom Brady a little bit too much time, which is always an error. You cannot give TB12 more than a couple of seconds really to do anything, and that was the error.
It's going to bite you.
If I'm a Bucks fan, I am a little troubled by the complacency that seemed to be taking place. But the Bucks looked much the same this time last year, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. So
true.
Dash joining us on YouTube. Thank you very much for doing so. Thank you to everyone that's joining us so far. Do let us know your thoughts in the chat as we progress through. But
I'd just like to say one thing.
Do it.
This is a real background. Grab a football. It looks like it's a fake background, but this is a real football.
I'm fairly impressed that you managed to pluck something off a fake background there, Duff.
I know.
Are you going to have to show me how to do
Magic.
that? Yeah. Now, I've got nothing to grab from behind me, but I could maybe touch it. Make some noise.
Sounds fake to me.
Sounds very fake. But let's get started on today's games then. Beginning with the 1 p.m. Eastern games in the US. 6 p.m. here in the UK. First off, the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to New York State to take on the Buffalo Bills. Kicks off, Duff. How do you think this is going to go?
Yeah, well, the Bills' O-line was good last year. They were 6-0 against the top 10 defense teams they played against. So, I mean, hopefully they can sustain it this year. That would be great for them. The Steelers also had a great O-line, but I think it's their D-line that might let them down in this game and potentially for a part of the season. I mean, you've got Big Ben looked good against Detroit in the preseason, but is he going to be able to sustain it? I don't think so. I think and the randomly going and Najee Harris looked great, I have to say.
Yeah.
And is he going to be the new Le'Veon Bell?
Hopefully not in the way that Le'Veon Bell kind of tapered off and lost interest in playing the sport. But I've said from the draft straight through that Najee Harris is a perfect fit for that team. He looked great in the preseason. I think he's going to be a major addition to that team. I think the Steelers were kind of exposed late last season as not as good as everybody thought they were. Have they improved coming into this season? I expect they have. Have they improved enough to do anything about the Bills, who are going to be pretty much business as usual? They didn't really need to do very much in this off-season to improve. They were already there. And yet they did. They've signed Emmanuel Sanders, so good veteran presence for them. I think it'll be close. I'm predicting a Bills win. What do you say?
I'm saying the same, Bills to win.
And for posterity, Matt has predicted along with us. I've got all of his predictions, and he said the Bills too. So
yeah,
we're all going Bills in this one.
So lots of questions for both teams in our next one. As the number one overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jacksonville Jaguars head to the Lone Star to face the Houston Texans. What are your thoughts?
I'm not expecting this one to be a barn buster myself. There's a lot of stories, a lot of intrigue.
Yep.
I think the main thing I'm going to be watching is Trevor Lawrence. He obviously being the number one overall pick. There's a lot of interest in whether he can settle straight into this Jaguars offense and bring them up. It can't really do worse for them, considering how they played last year to get that number one overall pick and pick him up. But in the preseason, he hasn't really been as lights out. He certainly isn't the rookie QB of the preseason. There are plenty of other candidates for that. But the Texans are a great team to start out against. They are not doing very well either. Not resolving this Deshaun Watson thing in the offseason is a massive joke, frankly. Tyrod Taylor's fine, but he isn't better than Watson, and the whole situation's a bit of a mess for me. So I'm going Jags win.
Okay. Well, especially with naming Tyrod Taylor the starting quarterback as well. It's
over him, over Watson. Yeah.
Which is insane. But yeah, I think the buzz around Trevor Lawrence is going to be interesting. I think this will be the kind of test now that we're getting. First game of the season, all the starters are in, and see what he can do. And I have gone for a Jags winners. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to beat the Texans.
Yeah, so we agree. Matt, conversely, has said the Texans. So he differs there. I look forward to mocking him next week when that doesn't come to pass. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's a good opportunity for me to introduce the 2-minute warning Lombardi for predictions. I obviously hold it, having been the winner for the 2020 season. But
nice.
Matt and I will be competing for this, and we do plan to bring on guest hosts throughout the season. So I think there'll have to be some guest host prediction.
We need one for the effing racing show. What could we get? Like a wheel or something like they have for fastest lap.
Yeah, they like wreaths a lot, don't they? So we could do
Yeah.
like a wreath.
Sitting here with a wreath.
Make you have to wear it for the entire of the next season. So yeah, I say
dear.
you're currently winning in on
I
the
am
effing
indeed.
racing show. So I intend to change that. So maybe not a wreath because I don't plan to wear it for an entire year. But there we go. We digress.
Yes.
Let's get back to the football, and we head west next for a matchup between two very intriguing teams, the Los Angeles Chargers and the Washington football team. Here's 2 minutes. What do you think?
Well, can the Chargers' offensive line hold Washington's defense? Justin Herbert was sacked 32 times last season, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And tied for the 9th worst in the NFL, while Washington recorded 47 sacks, tied for the 6th best. So it's going to be an intriguing one to see how destroyed they do get. Saying this, while I'm going in quickly, I have gone for the Chargers for the win.
Oh,
just because I think they're going to do it.
Matt said Chargers along with you.
I think this season they've got. I think they can do it. I'm trying to go through my notes, but it's so much red. I should have picked a different color, I think.
Yeah, well, feel free to change the color now. You can do that on the fly. I'm not going Chargers. I'm taking the Washington football team. I can see what you're saying about the Chargers. Year 2 for Herbert. I believe in that kid. I'm excited to see how he improves in 2021. But I think Washington are a bit of a sleeper for me, and I know as a Giants fan you would never acknowledge that. But the leadership of Fitzmagic on top of what is, and you can't argue, is a truly excellent defense under Chase Young et al. I can see them winning this division. It's either them or the Cowboys for me.
It's not hard.
Yeah, it's a great division to go on a run in because I'll say it, there isn't a whole lot of competition there, if I'm to be frank. So, yeah, I'm going Washington. You guys have both said Los Angeles, so bit of a split there. I like it.
Random fact.
Mm-hmm.
Fitzmagic is the only player, not just quarterback, to start for 8 different teams.
That's a lot of teams. And to follow up on that stat, he has not won a Super Bowl.
No.
With any of them.
I got that wrong.
Not as the starter.
He's the first player, not just quarterback, to start for 8 different teams since 1933.
There you go. Yeah, well, I've changed the notes black for you now.
Oh, perfect.
So
I can read now.
Hopefully your eyes will be a bit better with them.
Yeah, definitely. So now we go back to the Midwest. Next is Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks head to Indiana to face Carson Wentz-led Indiana Colts. 2 minutes on the clock.
Now, as we all know, Wentz, short for Wentz, is Carson going to be injured again and miss most of the season. And we've already had that this year. I don't doubt it will happen again. I've been on record for a very long time, before this show even existed, that he is not the most anti-injury, for lack of a better term, quarterback. So I don't have much faith in him to stay healthy for the season. If he does, Frank Reich can get the best out of him. But that's a big ask as far as I'm concerned. I think there's going to be a massive drop-off for the Colts. And the Seahawks, despite Wilson's on and off relationship with them in the off-season and the bizarre won't he be traded situation, I think they're a playoff-ready team. So, nice and simple, Seahawks to win. Matt said Seahawks as well. How do you feel?
Well, I think the Seahawks have probably got the best collection of skilled players on their offensive line, but I think with the the new was it Shane Waldron, Waldron, the first time play caller. I don't know. I think eventually they'll be able to put teams on their heels, but I think at the start it's going to take some time to get used to it, and I don't think they're going to have it. And as they're facing one of the top 10 defensive teams from last season, I can't see them doing it. I really don't. I think with Wentz potentially starting, they might get a game out of him, and I can see the Colts come winning this one. So yeah, I've gone for the Colts.
Outside move there, yeah. I don't think many people are picking the Colts to win, so that could be a bit of a coup for you.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. I will note, I probably should have told you at the top of the show, but you do have 2 timeouts.
Oh, I've got one extra.
So if at any point you do want to discuss any of these games in more detail, you can call your timeout. And yes, since the last time you were a guest on this show, there are extra timeouts. Well, you get 2 each. It's a longer show. There's more to discuss, so I think 2 each is perfectly reasonable. But we'll move swiftly on. And it's rare to have a revenge game this early in the season, but that's exactly what we're getting week 1, as Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers host Darnold's former team, the New York Jets. It's not the New York team that you're interested in, but how do you feel about their chances today? 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's intriguing to have this kind of situation. It's always good to see when you get to have that revenge on a former team. But it's the Jets, isn't it? I mean, come on. Even, what is it, Dan Hansis and the NFL podcast, he's a Jets fan, and he's just, I think half the time he's given up now as well. It'll be interesting to see how Zach Wilson does now in his first proper game. I think Darnold will have something to prove, and with the defense that the Jets have, I can see McCaffrey running riot, absolutely running riot through them.
Yeah, no, he's the difference that I've got.
Mosley is opposition. I mean, he isn't great in coverage, and the rest are rookies.
No, I agree with you. I think McCaffrey is going to be the difference in this game. And that's not to say that I don't think Sam Darnold isn't going to shine. I think he was not the problem in New York. I've been on record saying that in the past. But also, you've got Zach Wilson under centre, and I don't think this is the same Jets team with him under centre. They've cleaned house. It isn't the Adam Gase expletive show anymore. Hopefully they can turn things around and mount some kind of offense. They looked okay in the preseason. Not stellar, but certainly better than last year. But Darnold can basically sit back, do the minimum, and put the game on Christian McCaffrey's back. And that should be the strategy, if not definitely the strategy. So I say Panthers to win. Matt says Panthers to win. And you say?
I say Panthers to win.
Clean sweep for the Panthers.
Yep. Right. Swiftly moving on. My second team, the Vikings, travel to the Bengals. What have you got to say about this interesting matchup?
Well, first of all, I'm slightly disgusted that the Vikings are your second team.
What?
Like my second team are the Giants. I feel like you should sort that out and bring yourself in line with some sanity.
Because I've got the look.
That's a story for a different day. But I don't really know what to expect from either of these teams this year, to be completely honest. The Bengals are already feeling the heat, as I predicted, for drafting a receiver instead of a lineman to protect Burrow in the draft. He's obviously coming off his major injury last year. And so the Bengals offense needs to start fast. If last year's Vikings are anything to go by, they're in with a good shot of doing that. It's, in terms of a prediction, it's a toss-up for me, so I'm gonna toss a coin. So let's say Bengals and Vikings. Here we go.
Oh, surely Vikings should be the front with the horns, but never mind.
Too late. I haven't got time for that. Vikings it is. Vikings to win.
Lovely. Yeah, I think, like you said, with Joe Burrow's coming back from that season-ending knee injury last year, he's going to try to exploit the Vikings secondary that surrendered a lot of big passing plays in 2020. But the Vikings have got Dalvin Cook. I think he'll look to exploit the run defense of the Bengals, and they're my second team. So I have also gone for the Vikings to win this one because it's all about the purple. And you should know that because your Jizz show, it's all purple. Come on.
Yeah, but
Unbelievable.
It's the Vikings, man. I can't root for a division rival. I will be firmly rooting for the Bengals. I've got a bit of a soft spot for those Ohio teams anyway, the Bengals and the Browns. So, yeah. Who day? Let's go. Smash the Vikings.
Prince is from Minnesota. That's what does it for me.
I don't care for Prince either way, to be honest.
What?
I am Prince different.
Fair enough.
If you want to pun it out. But I digress. And two teams with a lot to prove in 2021 are the Arizona Cardinals and the Tennessee Titans, who will face off this evening at Nissan Stadium. It's probably another tough one to call. Here is 2 minutes.
Yeah. Genuinely have no clue what we're going to get with this one. It's an interesting one. I think the Titans are going to be slightly better, and I've gone for those for the win. I think it's going to be a fun shootout. I can see it being quite high scoring.
Yeah.
The Titans ranked 4th in the NFL in scoring offense last season, so that's looking good. And they added Julio Jones to the offense with Tannehill and Brown and Henry, so I think that could do quite well for them. We'll see how that progresses through the season. And Arizona still continuing to evolve around a third-year quarterback, Kyler Murray. So we'll see how it goes. I know there's a lot of doubt among Cardinals fans. They're not happy with their management as it goes. So will that come down into the players? But yeah, Titans to win.
Okay, yeah, I've gone Titans as well, as has Matt, so it's a clean sweep for the Titans. That's not to say that I think the Cardinals are going to slack off here and be slouches. They've improved more on defense than on offense, in my opinion. But Kyler Murray, he's continued to get better year on year. I don't expect that progression to drop off this year. And as you say, the Titans have also continued to stack players. They've added Julio Jones. They were already a massive contender last year, and in 2019 for that matter. Now they look even better. This could be the game of the week. As you say, a shootout is expected. High-scoring game, potentially. But I've just got to give the edge to the more experienced, more stacked Tennessee Titans.
Totally agree. Titans for the win. Right. Moving on. While in a new team, the San Francisco 49ers will travel to face a familiar foe in Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. What's your take on this one?
Well, obviously, off the bat, it gives me great pleasure to see a quarterback that I haven't rated for a very long time in Jared Goff, married with a team that I love to see flounder in the Detroit Lions. So that's a win for Jez straight off the bat. Not only that, but the 49ers are back.
Yes.
Injuries, hopefully, fingers crossed, are behind them. Not only do they have a very confident Jimmy Garoppolo, who is getting the start for the red and gold team, but they also have Trey Lance waiting in the wings to take over if necessary. But in the interim, I think we're going to see some trickery and fun being added by having Garoppolo and Lance potentially on the field at the same time in a Drew Brees and Hill kind of situation as we had in New Orleans. Yeah, I think this is going to be a massive embarrassment for Detroit, and the 49ers take it. Matt also says 49ers.
Yeah, same. totally go for the 49ers in this. Although Goff is familiar with the 49ers, he was 3-5 as a starter with the Rams. So I think that is completely going to continue, and it's just going to be more difficult with the Lions. So yes, nice to finally see San Francisco back with healthy players. Let's hope they can stay, and we can kind of get the run we were hoping for last year. And I think it's they can go. I hope they can go from a 6-win team and smash it. Lots of people think they are Super Bowl contenders this year. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I'd like to at least see it. And yeah, 49ers blowout win. I think this is going to be high scoring.
One-sided high scoring, I would suggest.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, fingers crossed that Garoppolo can be the Garoppolo that is good Garoppolo rather than bad Garoppolo. There seem to be two different sides to him. We'll see which one rears its head in 2021. But moving on, the Battle of the Birds brings the early games to a close when the Philadelphia Eagles head south to take on the Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons. It's 2 minutes. Kick us off, Duff.
Well, this is a debut for both head coaches. Arthur Smith with Atlanta and Nick Sirianni. Get that right?
Well said.
Philadelphia. And it's I think it leaves a bit of mystery going into this match for both teams to see kind of how they're going to play under their new head coach. Neither teams really showed much from their offense and defense in the training camp. And what was it? Sirianni was said, the adventure that I think we have is that they don't know what we are going to do. And the same, we don't know what they're going to do for them. So great, no one's got a clue. Brilliant, yeah. Thanks for that. What an insight.
I'm not sure that's a particularly good statement to come out with as a new head coach. Because it makes it more sound like, I don't know what we're going to do. I haven't really written the game plan yet.
We'll just chuck a ball and see where it lands.
Yeah, let's just go out there and toss it around. It's just Sunday afternoon fun, right?
Yeah.
No, but you're right. I can see this going either way, as many of the games will this evening. Both had terrible seasons last year and are under new management as a result. I'm excited, though, to see Kyle Pitts get fully mixed into the Falcons' offense. I'm excited to see Jalen Hurts get a full year, hopefully, or at least start the year with a view to having a full year as the leader of the Eagles' offense. And the Eagles literally cannot be any worse than last year.
Very true.
I'm surprised that Jalen Hurts managed to get anything out of that offense when he came in at the latter end of the year, so it can only go up from there. Very, very close to call, but as the reigning champion, I've got to come down on a side, and I say Falcons to win by a very, very close margin.
I cannot, for the life of me, and I'm not physically allowed to go Eagles, so Falcons.
And Matt says Falcons as well, bringing the trifecta to the front. Lots of matching between the three of us.
Yeah, so that's good in a way. We're all kind of
until we're all wrong.
Not for you two, because it gets closer for the trophy. But
I suppose, yeah.
Anyway, let's move forward now to the 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK slate of games. First Super Bowl runners-up, the Kansas City Chiefs, head to Ohio to take on the Cleveland Browns. So this one is actually Cleveland's rematch from their last game. So they've kind of gone straight into a kind of almost revenge game. So 2 minutes on the clock. What do you think of this?
Speaking of Matt, he's joining us on Facebook. Welcome in. We are getting your predictions in. I still believe in the Browns. I've been high on the Browns for a couple of years now. I believe in the Browns. I believe in Baker Mayfield. But starting out against the Chiefs, who are pissed off, for lack of a better term, after that Super Bowl kind of blowout against the Bucs, it's going to be a tough ask for Cleveland this week. It's going to be a fun game, at least for the neutrals, but it's going to be a nail-biter if you are a fan of either of these teams, I believe. Two great offenses, two great defenses. I'm kind of left with no choice but to just root for my underdog. So I'm going out on a limb.
Wow.
Browns with the upset.
Nice.
I don't think many people are picking the Browns to win this, but I'm out there. I'm on record. Go Brownies.
To be fair, it's the first time Mayfield has had the same coaching staff for a second season.
Mm-hmm.
So that could really help. I mean, what was it? From game 9 onwards, he only had one interception. So if we can keep that momentum forward with the same coaching staff, that's superb. And I think it may... the only thing for me is it may take Cleveland some time with their new D to kind of get to grips. So they've got 9 new players on that defense. So, well, up to 9 new players on that defense. So it might need some time to gel. And with the Chiefs' O-line, which has had to rebuild on the left side, it looks strong with Tooney and Brown. But the rookies that they've got aren't proven. However, I think that the loss from the Super Bowl is going to be too much, and I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Going to light a fire under them. Yeah, I think that's the prevailing opinion. Matt thinks the same. He goes the Chiefs to win in that one. And he's joined at exactly the right time as we move on to talk about his beloved New England Patriots. And it's a game full of intrigue.
Yes.
Usually one of the hotter division rivalries, at least in the AFC East. The Miami Dolphins head to Foxborough to take on the new anointed leader of the Patriots, Mac Jones, and the New England Patriots. 2 minutes. Let's see what we think of this one.
Yeah, like you said, I think this is going to be an interesting game. Could be quite high scoring, I think. I think the Dolphins team's a bit of a mystery. I think they're a bit untested and unplayed. I think Mac Jones for the Pats will be interesting to see. There's been a lot of hype around him of how well he can do. How well will he do against the starters now in the regular season? I think Tua is going to have to come out strong. I think there's been some talk about whether he is kind of should be starter or not, but I think he's got to come out strong against the Pats. But I think he will bring the goods, and I'm going for the Finns for the win.
Oof. Matt said 41-17 Patriots
victory.
Wow. No chance in hell, mate. It is Mac Jones's opportunity to prove this guy, to prove me wrong, and light it up against a division rival. Mac doesn't have Cam Newton looking over his shoulder anymore. Important to mention that. Cam Newton is out of the building. The only kind of pause that I have is that Tua Tagovailoa in Miami doesn't even have the belief of his own team, I don't feel. I just think the Pats want it more. They're dying to show that they don't need that Thomas bloke that everyone's talking about that's down there in the South enjoying the sunshine. Is
that the team or is that the coach that's dying for that?
I think it becomes one and the same with the way that the Patriots do rally behind Bill Belichick for reasons unknown to me. I do think that they're going to go out there hungry, and so I'm saying Patriots to win, and obviously, as we've just heard, Matt saying Patriots.
Matt's gone the Dolphins.
Well.
So moving on to an odd one. First of all, hopefully everyone in New Orleans after what's happened is all okay. You're all safe and well.
Yeah.
But our relocated game for the week. We'll see the Green Bay Packers traveling to Jacksonville to take on the displaced New Orleans Saints. I think I know. Well, I didn't think I knew where you were going for this, but maybe not. What do you think?
Yeah. I know what you're expecting as a Bears fan. I'm never going to go for the Packers, but I've got to be realistic. I
Okay.
have chosen the Packers to win this. I just don't think this Saints team is going to be anything at all in 2021. This relocation is a great excuse to not be ready for this game. They've barely settled their QB situation. Jameis Winston gets the start, but I think it's going to be a tough year if you're a Saints fan. I don't think they really know what's going on. I don't think any of the QBs that they have in the building are the answer, taking over from a living legend like Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we know who the Packers are, unfortunately. Rodgers is back with a chip on his shoulder, looking to win a Super Bowl, first of all, and also to put in a good audition for whatever team he will move on to next year. So, yeah, the Saints don't really stand a chance. Packers to win, unfortunately.
See, I think Jameis Winston is fine now. He has his LASIK on his eyes, so he can see what he's doing now. So
does
the big mistakes
fix color blindness? You know,
it's all good. It's all good. He can see now. So the big mistakes that doomed him at Tampa Bay sorted. I think also the team is going to want to do it for New Orleans. They're displaced for a reason. We've had the hurricane. We've had all that. I mean, I know they've got, 10 new starters in the lineup because of injuries, retirements, blah, blah, blah. But I think there's something bigger than football this weekend that they're going to want to win for. And I think that is why the Saints are going to win this game.
I think you're nuts, but I appreciate the balls. Honestly, I do.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think they've got a chance. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Nothing pleases me more than the Packers getting smashed in the face, but I'll wait to find out the result before I go and celebrate. But a game that is very close to your heart, Duff, is up next.
Indeed.
As the Denver Broncos ride into New Jersey to face your beloved New York Giants.
And we all know Giants can squish a horse.
Well, here are 2 minutes. I'll let you take most of this time, and don't forget you do have a timeout.
Good, yes.
Yeah, here we go. 2 minutes.
With that statement, what can I say? We've got Engram out with a calf injury.
Here come the
Barkley's
excuses.
questionable. Galladay limited practice with hamstring problems. The same with Kyle Rudolph with a foot injury. So there's no guarantee that these players are even going to start this match. So, but
I will interrupt you quickly to say we've had an update on Barkley. He is expected to play.
Okay.
It will be in a limited capacity, and he won't get as many reps as usual, but he is in.
Nice. Good. Well, that's one thing we got going for us. The Giants. Hang on. Oh, here we go.
Oh dear.
I might need to take my
timeout just for sneeze time.
Yeah. Right, the Giants need to get off to a winning start this season. I think it's last time I talked about the Giants, my internet went. So maybe I'm just not meant to talk about the Giants.
Yeah.
If you look at the stats, it looks bleak. It does look bleak for the Giants. The Giants' assessment of Daniel Jones as the franchise's future is, I think, he's not gotten off to the best of starts. I know it's a lot to do with the players that are around him, but he's basically a miniature Eli at the moment. And I think if we do get through to a Super Bowl, it's going to be by accident again. Definitely. I mean, it's going to be hard because we've got Teddy Bridgewater coming in to the Broncos. I think there's a lot of people that are looking forward to seeing Teddy at the Broncos. I mean, when he was back at the Saints, he did well when Drew Brees was out.
Would you like your timeout, sir?
I definitely would. So I think he's gonna have something to prove massively going to the Broncos. But yeah, who have we got? There's a linebacker, Lavon Miller, returns after an ankle injury that sidelined him last season. his presence could disrupt Jones from finding teammates if we get Golladay and Rudolph on the pitch. And yeah, I'm always behind the Giants. I mean, it doesn't help that I listen to the Giants Daily podcast, and it's probably like listening to the apocalypse. There's never a good thing said. I mean, we all know that most of the Giants fans hate the owners, and he seems to have something about that he feels that he has to draft. He wants to pick a player or draft a player and see him go on to greatness. But I mean, it's not gonna. We need a team. We need a team for that to happen. And at the moment, it's not happening. However, I cannot say the Giants are going to lose. So the Giants are going to win, and this will kick it off.
Again, we'll say no chance, mate. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, the Broncos, of all teams, it could happen. But I'm one of those people excited to see what Teddy Bridgewater can do with the keys to the kingdom in Denver. Unfortunately, the Giants are a good team for him to ease into. That said, your defensive unit really took a massive upturn towards the end of last season, so you could benefit there. But I am losing faith in Daniel Jones more and more by the game, so he really needs to step in and prove himself. This is his year. Do it, or you're done. I think
we should have got a QB instead of Barkley. We've wasted Barkley now.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Yeah. That'll be a good side discussion for another day.
Yes,
what
indeed.
Could have happened in that draft if they'd have picked a QB instead of Barkley.
So, as we go from my fun, we head over to your fun. So, Sunday Night Football, your Chicago Bears travel across country to LA to face the LA Rams. What do you got to say about it?
I'm not excited, hopeful, any of those positive emotions. None of them are within me right now. And just as we thought we'd got away from Matthew Stafford, who was the only bright spot on that Detroit Lions team of the last 10 years, nope, we're going straight into face him on a good team now, on a team that has playmakers and people for him to throw to. So that sucks, frankly. And we've got Andy Dalton for the Bears on a good team, a team full of playmakers. But it's not going to be the same experience, I don't think. And we've seen what Andy Dalton can do. Big part of the reason that the Cowboys were not very good last year. Big part of the reason that the Bengals, despite having at the time one of the longest tenured head coaches in the league, he finally had to call it quits when Andy Dalton failed to get things done there. We do have Justin Fields waiting in the wings. We're not going to see him in this game, I don't think.
To a lot of people's dismay.
Yes, no. I personally, other than the Bears having a terrible offensive line still, I don't see the merit in starting Dalton. I didn't see the merit in signing Dalton. He's not an upgrade from Nick Foles. If we were just going to have a mediocre veteran presence in the building, we could have saved the money and went with Nick Foles again, is my personal thinking there. So I'm not excited for the prospect. I don't think there is a Bears fan out there who is excited for the prospect of getting their rear ends handed to them in prime time on Sunday Night Football. I'm going for a Rams victory, and I'm going to call my timeout right now to give you the opportunity to rebut.
Wow. I don't really know how much I can add to that. I think LA have got their new defensive coordinator in Raheem Morris. I think that might make a difference, especially considering the Bears' O-line is probably the bigger worrisome part of the Bears rather than just QB.
Yeah.
I think it's potentially going to be an ugly game, and I think it'll be a close, ugly game. But I'll take one for you here. I'm going Bears to win.
Matt's gone Bears to win as well.
Bears to win.
I think you're both nuts, frankly.
That's my third one. You think I'm nuts on now?
Yeah. No, I just don't see it, and I also question the logic of this game being the Sunday Night Football opener. I don't know what the bookers, as it were, are expecting to see. I mean, okay, the Rams haven't been stellar in the last few years either, and they're scrappy in the same way that the Bears are. Can put up points under the right circumstances. I've got nothing positive to say, really. Not while Andy Dalton is under centre. I feel like if Justin Fields was in there, we could have seen some excitement, because we saw, even with that terrible offensive line, and I've stolen all your time again, but whatever.
That's fine.
Even under that terrible offensive line in preseason, Justin Fields, arguably the rookie MVP of the preseason.
Yeah, definitely.
Very much able to light it up and make plays.
I think it's insane he's not starting.
Yeah, Andy Dalton isn't doing anything with his feet other than getting them stuck in the mud. So, yeah.
There's at least a chance that if he's that shit to start, they might bring Fields on.
I think we're a couple of weeks away from that, unfortunately. Yeah. But thankfully, that won't be the last glimpse of football that we see in Week 1. Closing out the week on Monday Night Football are the Baltimore Ravens and the Las Vegas Raiders, officially opening their new stadium, the Raiders, in the regular season. 2 minutes on the clock. It is a lovely stadium. Let's throw that into our conversation. Here are 2 minutes.
Yeah, behind the Mandalay Bay, just down the road from T-Mobile Arena for the Vegas Golden Knights. One thing if we learned from that, which I think will help the Raiders, is, man, did the fans in Vegas get behind the Golden Knights. The biggest thing from that first season there, which they got all the way to the Stanley Cup playoffs, so I know this is football, but was the crowd. There was the stadium that players feared going to the most, because the atmosphere in that rink was incredible. And I think that Vegas will do the same for the Raiders. The Ravens recently had to cut a practice short with the loss of Marcus Peters and running back Gus Edwards with serious injuries on back-to-back plays. Mm-hmm. So God knows what was going on there. Edwards potentially out for the whole season, which is mad. I
think we've had confirmation of that. Don't hold me to it, but I think, they are both done.
So does this mean Le'Veon Bell starting? Because he was signed up for practice.
They've signed him to the practice squad. I don't know if they've elevated him for this game. It's something to watch, but
they're going to struggle.
They've been decimated by injury. I think this is going to be a tough year for Baltimore. They do have the coaching and the leadership to overcome that kind of thing, but it's still going to be a massive, massive ask.
Oh God, yeah.
But despite the new stadium and the new fans and the love that they're going to get from Las Vegas, I still think Raiders going to Raider at some point.
Always.
Several questionable coaching and personnel decisions in the off season.
Every draft has been a question mark.
Yeah, I'm going to call my second timeout because why not? Might as well use them. Yeah. And I just think, despite that though, the Raiders are going to have too much for the Ravens, who are really struggling. Lamar Jackson's still Lamar Jackson. I still believe in him, but
he can't do it all himself.
He can't put the game on his back. We've seen in the past where he's tried to put the entire game on his back. It doesn't work. Defenses have got an answer to it. If Chucky knows anything, it's defense. So
yes,
yeah, I'm going Raiders in this one. Matt also said Raiders, but he's always going to say Raiders.
I've gone Raiders. I think the biggest thing for me this year is, although with their questionable back staff and all that stuff, biggest thing for me just in this season, let alone this match, is Derek Carr. We've seen some good things from him. We've seen not so good things from him. I think this is he has a lot to prove. And I don't know. I can't ever see them drafting a new QB because they always pick someone that you never think.
Have they still got Marcus Mariota as the backup? Is he still there, or did they?
I think so.
Did they let him go somewhere? Yeah. Finish your thought, and I'll Google it and see where he is now.
But yeah, they're the Raiders sat pretty much every starter in the preseason, so the start of this game is going to be very interesting.
He is still there.
Oh, okay.
Mariota is still the backup in Las Vegas.
But yeah, with it being Vegas and how much they get behind fans, definitely Raiders win all the time.
Yeah, and I didn't expect, even as recently as last week or the week before, to be saying that the Raiders were going to beat the Ravens in week 1, but
I know
the injuries that they've suffered. I think the Ravens are the 49ers of last year.
Yes, definitely.
A team with a lot of potential and should be a contender, but injuries just decimate them and they can't.
Yeah, hasn't fallen their way this year at all.
Not at all. No. Okay, well, I think Matt has gone, which is unfortunate because it's time to introduce a new segment to close out the show.
How?
Brand new for this.
Do we have a sting?
We do have a sting, of course. We have a sting.
Oh,
yeah.
Superb!
Yeah, and this segment is actually somewhat based on the drunken YouTube hole that we got into when you came to visit me a couple of weeks ago, Duff. So in our brand new segment, we're closing out the show with a segment that we call You Bet.
Oh yeah, takes me back.
Yeah, so if you are British and you are the same kind of age as me and Duff, which is old, you may remember You Bet from the 90s. It was a show in which celebrities would be on a panel and they would have to bet whether an expert in their field could do something. For example, whether a chess player could checkmate 6 players in 30 seconds or something ridiculous like that. And the celebrities would bet, and they would do the thing live in the studio and see if it would come to pass. So, in a similar way, I've gone looking at the bookmakers. This week's You Bet comes from William Hill. I've taken what I perceive to be the most interesting and the most discussion-worthy money line. And we're going to say whether we bet it's going to happen or whether it's not going to happen. And this will be added in to our prediction standings on a regular week for me and Matt for the trophy. And for you, Duff, this week, if you get this correct and I don't, then Matt will get the points. So you are playing for Matt. You're playing for Matt.
Cool.
Okay. So
I'll take that.
Today's bet comes from the New York Jets Carolina Panthers game. The question is, will Christian McCaffrey and Tevin Coleman have over 199 rushing yards combined in this game? Now that's over 199, so 199 will not count. It's basically 200 plus. We're not going to start the clock. It's an untimed down. What do you think?
I'll take it. I think McCaffrey alone will get close. I think the Jets, I don't think they've got an answer for him. There's a lot of rookies there, and we've seen McCaffrey on a good day what he can do. And I think we're against a team like the Jets. As you see in the notes, I just put yes, capitals, 3 exclamation marks. Yeah. I'm tempted to go on William Hill and put some money on it.
Well, it's there if you want to do so, but you and everybody else, please bet responsibly. I'm not going to take this bet.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. I completely agree with everything you've said, and I see the logic in it, but I'm also thinking, this is McCaffrey's first game back after an injury. 2, The counterpart here is Tevin Coleman, who is in a new team and wasn't particularly brilliant in his old team. He was fine, he was passable, but he didn't stack up the numbers incredibly. And also, I think there becomes a point, if the Carolina Panthers do start to run away with this, where they take McCaffrey off the field, and he's not able to get up to that 199 yards rushing. So unless he just goes on 2 major tears, starting on the 10-yard line and goes for a 90-yard touchdown twice to get close to that, possible. I don't see it happening. It is possible, but I don't see it happening. I'm going to say no.
Cool.
No.
Press your little button.
Yeah, I am going to. I'm going to get a little graphic to put underneath our boxes to put the cross or the circle for whether we take the bet or not. But
one blue, one red.
We will have you back at various points this season, I'm sure, so you can get involved.
Definitely, sounds good.
A new bet again. But I'm going to thank you for standing in for Matt.
Whoa! Stop you right there.
All right.
Now, if I'm coming back, I've got something for you. It's another kind of a bet. But it's kind of rather than the week to week like this one, because I didn't know when I'd be back or not. So this is a season long bet.
All right. Okay.
That I'm going to have with you for a sub from Subway of your choice.
That's an important distinction, being as one of the places where broadcasting is on Twitch. A sub, as in a submarine sandwich from Subway, not a subscription to a Twitch channel. Okay,
and
cool.
I want your boldest prediction. So what I'm going to say is, I think my bold prediction for the season that I think will happen is that at some point this season we will have a coach not sacked but resign in some form of way. Something's going to happen that so big, it's going to be massively newsworthy, which is going to cause this coach to resign.
Okay, that is bold. That is very bold. If I were to predict who that would be, I would say it's Houston Texans head coach David Culley. I think there's only a certain amount of the nonsense that exists there that he can take.
Yes.
So he's definitely a candidate for that. Right. A bold prediction. Okay,
what have you got?
I've been thinking this kind of thing for a while, so I guess I will commit it to paper now. I predict that the 2 teams that are in the Super Bowl at the end of the year will both have not made the playoffs last year.
Okay.
So completely new teams in the Super Bowl from last year. Didn't
so
even
49ers.
Make the playoffs. 49ers would definitely fit that criteria, I might have said the Ravens previously to this week. Would have been an example. They didn't make the playoffs. So, I think that's my bold prediction. 2 teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. So you don't think
the Bucks can get back there?
I think they'll be in the playoffs, but again, this is where we're talking about the Super Bowl. In the final event, it will be 2 teams that were not in the playoffs for the 2020 season. Wow. And I will write that down in the notes.
I'll definitely take you on that. I think that's a good one.
But it's a nice idea, and in addition to winning this trophy and retaining this trophy for 2021, I can eat a Subway sandwich at any given moment, so that works for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Same, just not with the trophy. So I'll take my effing racing show one instead.
Am I allowed to start wrapping up and actually thank you now?
It's all yours.
Or have you got any more surprises for me?
Next time.
So thank you very much for standing in for Matt as he had family commitments this week. I'm very happy that my voice has held out. I can feel it scratching away there. So
because you left all the shouting to me during the race.
That's true. Yeah. No, good news for my wife. I'm probably not going to be talking very much this evening. And the Bears aren't on until stupid late, so it'll be red zone for me this evening. But whatever game you watch, wherever you watch, I hope you enjoy week 1 in the NFL. Hope you've enjoyed coming here and listening to us on 2 Minute Warning. We'll be back next week, same time, 4 p.m. in the UK to get you ready for what will be week 2 by then. So I've been Jazz.
I've been Duff.
And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Ciao.